when the first claw machine appeared, I didn't think much of it, other than it was unusual to see a claw machine in a coffee shop. But, these things come and go in style, I figured. He wasn't much of a claw machine fan himself. They're usually rigged, after all. A great number of claw machines are just set up so that the claws are only strong enough to pick up the thing once every however many times the person that owns the machine programs him to be. And I was thinking about that, sipping his coffee, when somebody won the claw machine. And they were very excited. Inside was a little keychain thing, shaped like a sweet potato, but with arms and legs and eyes. It was cute. You'd have to see it. Well, I thought, good for them, I guess. Then a couple more people played, and until I was surprised another person won. And indeed, over the time that Ollie was sipping his coffee, 12 people won. Way more than normal, I thought. Ollie asked one of the employees at the cafe what the deal was with the claw machine. He said, I don't know. Just sort of showed up yesterday, midday. They delivered it. The owner said something about the owner of the cafe is getting paid rent. I guess that's how these sort of things, vending machines and stuff, usually work, right? I said, yeah, I guess so, but it's weird that it's winning so often. Yeah, it is a little weird. Anyway, can I get you anything else? No, I said I'm good. Ollie left, and he had to stop by the grocery store. And they had a claw machine too, which was weird. Again, not unheard of for a grocery store to have a claw machine, but it seemed to be the same brand, giving away the same kinds of things. Little keychains and doodads, mostly shaped like anthropomorphic vegetables and fruits. As Ollie looked around, he noticed that it seemed like a lot of people had these anthropomorphic fruit things. Must have been a lot of winners, Ollie thought. He asked one person about it and said, oh yeah, got it from the claw machine. It's kind of all the rage around here. You're like not cool if you don't have one of the keychains. I guess the claw machine owners must be cleaning up. I said, where'd you get yours? Oh, over at the ice cream shop, they have one. I only walked around the neighborhood, and there was probably 10 different of these claw machines. Oh, this is getting weird. He went over, and it was only a quarter to play. And after 3 plays, Ollie won. This was a carrot. And it was cute. It wasn't like super cute. But Ollie was feeling suspicious. He said, stop. You don't, Elsa, stop. Ollie looked very carefully at it. It didn't seem like much. But it seemed somehow the wrong weight. Like, too heavy to just be a piece of plastic that size. Ollie turned it over his hand and looked at it very carefully. And when he looked carefully enough, he saw that there was a little panel, a little place where it could open. He took it back to his apartment and got out some of his small tools. Something was up with this. It wasn't the normal, if it had just been an injected molded plastic part. Sometimes they have that seam where the two halves of the mold come together. But this wasn't that. This was like a little door, but it was not meant to open, Ollie thought, which made him want to open it even more. So he got out. He uses little things that he uses to pick locks and do other small investigations. Dental tools, mostly. That's what they really were. And he got an edge of it underneath, the edge of the door, the edge of the little panel. And he's holding it down with this little clamp that he had just for this kind of a thing. He had to kind of work it. It was difficult. It wasn't a whole lot to grab onto. Eventually he got the door. And it popped off all at once. There, Ollie was surprised to see a little circuit board of some sort. Well, he reached in carefully with the tweezers and gently pulled it out. It slid out. There was a few little pieces of glue, but Ollie was able to pop the pieces of glue out and slide off the circuit board intact. Put it under the microscope. He wasn't an electronics expert exactly, but he'd seen enough of them to kind of recognize some components. There was a little battery. There were some resistors, a capacitor or two. And then what looked like a little GPS chip and a little transmitter. The transmitter was the hardest thing to be for sure, but those other components that he had identified, he was pretty sure it had to be a transmitter. Ollie didn't have all the electronic snooping stuff that he needed to really investigate this. For that, he usually got some help from a friend. This guy built electronics and little devices and little robots for fun. His name was Octavius. And he's a research assistant over at the university. So anyway, Ollie went over there. And Octavius took a look at the device and said, yeah, let's see. And he pulled over a couple of different other devices with antennas. Let's see if we can figure out what kind of signal it's putting out. He fiddled with the devices. And after a few minutes, one of the things, a long, skinny antenna, started to have a pattern of numbers going across its little screen. Got it. All right. Let's see, it's radio frequency. That makes sense. And what do we got? Okay, yep, hold on. And as he plugged over the signal, or the device that had picked up the signal, over into a computer interface. Let's see, location, yep. It's broadcasting location. Looks like every 3 seconds it's repeating. Pretty straightforward GPS tracking device. But who's getting the signal? That's harder to tell. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. Someone's picking up this signal. It's on kind of a unusual band of radio. But it's a pretty good little device. So I'd say you've got a range of about 2 miles, maybe 3. But in this neighborhood with the tall buildings, 2 miles. Other than that, well, that's all I can tell you. Let me know, though. Let me know what you find. So I took the device back and went over to the library, which had a good view of the neighborhood. And he looked around. It could be anything. There were apartments, and houses, and businesses, and even a couple of warehouses and garages. But then I thought about something. The claw machine in the cafe wasn't that big. And if something like 12 people had hit, just while he was there, Ollie realized they'd have to be refilled. So Ollie went back to the cafe as soon as he could. And there were only 2 of the prizes left. So with permission from the cafe owner, Ollie climbed up on top of the balcony, sat, and waited. It was a stakeout. And about 45 minutes later, a workman came in a blue uniform and a truck and a big bag of the prizes. So he went inside to refill, Ollie assumed. And while he was inside, Ollie scampered down from the balcony he was hiding on, got into the truck. The driver had left the back door open and found a inconspicuous corner to hide. After a few minutes, the driver got back in, closed the door, then got back in, and drove off. Made 3 more stops, 3 more refills, and then drove not too far away. I was trying to keep track, but it was dark. But the truck pulled into a garage. He heard the truck door open, heard the truck door close, heard the garage door close, heard a door open, and heard a door shut, and then it was quiet. Ollie made his way out. He was able to squeeze out from underneath the door that held the truck shut. The garage was very dark, although there was a window. Ollie looked out, and he was just there on 27th Street. Not too far away at all. Some random house garage. A few of them have garages around in the back. Ollie was sure that opening the garage would attract too much attention. He didn't know what was behind the door. So he tried the window. From the inside, he was able to unlock it. So he got out and figured out where he was. And got the address. Then he was feeling bold. He snuck back into the garage. Because they'd noticed that the garage was reasonably cool, but it was a summer day. And that meant that there was air conditioning coming into the garage. Even though it was dark, Ollie found the air conditioning vent. Unscrewed the panel, climbed in, made his way into the main house. Now, it's not like in the Bond movies, where you can just climb around in an air conditioner system all day long. They pretty much go to the central air handler. But Ollie was able to find a union where it's the deck he was in came into another one, and that one went onto the living room. Luckily, with the, suction cups and all that, Ollie was able to climb up pretty easily. He wiggled and wiggled and wiggled until the register opened, and he made his way out. There was nobody in the living room, but Ollie could hear somebody watching TV in the next room. In for a penny, in for a pound, Ollie thought. He just puffed himself up as big as he could reasonably get and came around the corner. Who are you? Why are you in my apartment? Better question for you. Why are you putting transmitters on all the residents of Charles Village? I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not a very good liar to make a pretty darn good tracker. Tell me what's up. Tell me what you're doing. Why should I? Who are you? Name's Ollie the Octopus. I'm a private detective. And I've got a lot of friends in the police department. And I've got one of them right here called up on my phone. All I gotta do is press one button, and I'll be talking to a detective. All right, calm down. It's just an art thing. It's just an art thing. Is it an art thing? Yeah, here, let me show you. It's actually coming out great. You gotta check it out. Yeah, come here. All right. And I followed the guy upstairs to the second floor. And there in an office was this computer with a big monitor. And on the monitor were all these lines tracing out the streets and the sidewalks and the houses and the shops of Charles Village. Oh, I recognized it instantly. You could tell by the streets and the shapes of the... It was, honestly, pretty cool. It looked like lasers dancing around our neighborhood. And Ollie said as much. And then he said, but it's also not ethical. What do you mean? None of these people consented to be traced. You can't just put GPS trackers on people and expect it to be all right. I I know, but it's so cool. And I want to see these people go further out, like how the trackers move throughout the city. It would look so cool. Can you imagine? Like this hive of activity right here and then slowly spreading fingers out across the city. I figure I got a range of about 3 miles. That can make a darn cool map, don't you think? I said, it is a darn cool map. But still unethical. Probably against the law. So tell you what. You shut it down. I don't have to tell the police about it. Oh, but print your map. Do what art you can with what you got. I'm not going to try and take away, but I am going to come back and check on you. And if you turn them back on, or you do anything other than art with this, I'll know. How will you know? How did I get into your apartment? I'm a detective. I can do sneaky things. All right, fine. So you'll really be cool about it? Yeah, I said, the way I see it, you haven't really done anything terribly harmful. Yet. As long as you stop, as long as it stays that way, I can be cool. All right. Well, thanks. All right. Be good, you. And I left. Wasn't entirely sure that was the right way to handle it, but not bad for a little improvisation. I wrote down the address, took a couple of pictures. Shh. Shh. And that was the case of Ollie and the claw machines.